So usually when I make an aquascape, I use a lot of different plant varieties. This time I'm not doing that. This time I'm setting up a tank with only 2 plant types, moss and booze. Let's get started. So the plan for today is to make a low maintenance aquascape with mainly moss and Bucephalandras. If you've never heard of Bucephalandra before, it's basically an epiphyte plant, so a plant that attaches to wood and rocks. Very similar to Anubias, but a little bit more variety, a little bit more color as well. So this is the tank that we're going to be scaping today. This is a Dennerle Scaper tank, 55 liters. I really like these tanks because they have just really good dimensions, especially for aquascaping. Like with aquascaping, we're always trying to create a lot of depth in our layout, you know. And this one already has a really good footprint with a lot of depth. So front to back, I think it's 36 centimeters. Yeah, so 36 centimeters, which is 14 inches. That's front to back. Then the height is 34 centimeters, which is about 13 inch. And the width is 45 centimeters, which is a little over 17 inch. So just a really nice footprint to get creative. For the light, I'm going to be using a Twinstar E Series 4. Really good light, has a remote dimmer as well. And you can choose 6, 8 or 10 hour photo period. I usually just go for 8. And then whenever possible, I like to use an external canister filter. So for this one, I'm going to go with the Oase Filtosmart 100. This is the Thermo version as well. So at the moment, I just kind of have like a rough idea of what I want to make. I'm thinking to create a really cool hardscape structure with black lava rock. I have different types. I have this sort of like brownish lava rock. Then I also have ADA Sansui stone. I'll get some close-ups for you guys. This is basically really fancy lava rock, really dense, really heavy as well. Then I have a box full of this tiny piece of premium black lava. So I want to create a really nice structure with all the lava rocks, cover everything in moss, and then just plant different types of Bucephalandra everywhere. That's the plan. Okay, so first job of today is to fill up some zip bags with AQUASOIL. I'm going to place them in the back of the tank and already create a bit of a slope. Most of the rocks that I have are not that big. We want to make sure that we use the full height of the tank, so we definitely need a good slope in this layout. Here we go, we got 4 large zip bags and 2 smaller ones. Might add a few more later, but it's a good place to start. Now the reason for putting the AQUASOIL in these zip bags is kind of just to contain it. Like especially when you're building up a big slope, there's always a chance of the AQUASOIL rolling forward towards the front glass. Also in this layout, I'm not going to plant any plants in the substrate, so there's no roots to hold the substrate together, you know. Also because the AQUASOIL is in zip bags, it means that I can easily reuse it as well. So in 6 months or a year when this layout is done, I can take it all out, dry it, and you can easily reuse it in the new layout as well. But that's enough about the zip bags. Let's get some rocks in. So I'm going to start with the ADA Sansui stones because they're the largest ones that I have. And they have a few more like flat edges as well, so I can easily put them against the side glass panel, for example, and just start creating the framework. Okay, I know that at the moment it kind of just looks like a pile of lava rocks, but just kind of imagine a little valley. There'll be a sand path going through the center all the way towards the back. I think that's kind of the goal that I have in mind right now. Like I said, I didn't really have a plan when I started this, a bit of a rough idea, but that was it. So I just started placing in all those lava rocks and this is where we are right now. Now in between all the lava rocks and especially in the corners, I still have like a large void, a lot of gaps. So I think I'm just going to fill it up with crushed lava rock. I had a bunch of stuff lying around as well. And yeah, I think just filling up all those gaps. I just want to make sure that, like, if I'm going to be keeping shrimp or fish in here, they can't get into those gaps, you know. So we need to make sure that we close it all.
guys, that's all the gaps filled with the crushed lava rock. So I basically just poured it in, and then with the paintbrush I tried to really brush it into all the gaps, you know, so it's not just lying on top of the lava rocks, but it's definitely in the cracks as well. Now it's time for the most boring part. I need to glue everything together, especially because I've used so many small lava rocks as well, like they're all just loose. And if I'm going to cover them in moss and I want to maintain the moss and trim it and maybe remove some of it, I need to make sure that everything is secure and then I don't accidentally pull up a small lava rock. Also because the lava rock is very lightweight, you know. If these are all very heavy rocks, I might not have to glue everything, but because it's such a lightweight type of rock, I want to make sure I secure everything. So I have some cotton pads, or like these makeup pads, got like liquid super glue, and I also have these precision tips, so these go on top of the super glue bottle, and then I can really get into those small nooks and crannies, you know. Okay, everything seems pretty secure. Yeah, that's all good. Of course, you have all these white pieces of cotton pad visible. I'm pretty sure that I can manage to cover them all up with moss, but just in case, I have a little tip for you guys. So I have some of this Choco sand from Rio, but you can use anything. You can use crushed AQUASOIL. I've seen people even use like ground coffee. This is almost like a fine sand. It's a little bit lighter color than the black lava, but it will blend in really nicely. So you can kind of probably already see where this is going, but if you just sprinkle a little bit of that sand on the cotton, maybe a little bit more glue on top of it, just to lock it all in place, that way it looks a lot better. So the hardscape is pretty much done. The only thing left to do is to create our sand path. But I think before we add in the sand, I want to do a quick water change, I guess. I just want to fill up with water, clean it a little bit because the crushed lava rock is very dusty. I also just made a bit of a mess. So yeah, just like a quick water change. Okay, so just quickly filled and drained the tank. It already looks a lot different now that the lava rocks are wet and even darker. And then just imagine it with the bright green moss. Gonna be an amazing contrast. So yeah, adding in the sand, I have two options. First up is the sand Chihiros from Rio, or I have the sand Canyon. So I think the Canyon is a little bit more red brownish, and this one is a little bit more beige. Which one shall we go for? I think we want to try the Canyon. It's not a huge amount, so I hope it's enough, but I mean, we just want a thin layer in front and then just a little path towards the back. So yeah, let's try the Canyon. If we don't like it, we can always siphon it out and replace it with something else. Okay, fast forward, it's a day later, but we're now ready for planting. Very excited. I did a few things off camera yesterday. We can kind of just quickly go through that. So I added in the sand. After that, I filled up the tank with water, but it went very cloudy. So I thought, let's try out it's not new, but it's new to me, Seachem Clarity. So like a water clarifier, clears all types of clouding. So I added half a dosing cap, and after about an hour, it was crystal clear. Then, of course, I filled up the tank with reverse osmosis water, as always. So I also added Seachem Equilibrium, so just to restore the mineral balance. And lastly, from Seachem, I also added in Seachem Stability, just to add in some beneficial bacteria. And then, of course, I installed the filter and the CO2 as well. Decided to go for an inline CO2 diffuser. So yeah, that's all set up. Yeah, plants just came in. We have a really nice selection of moss and Bucephalandra. Some very nice Bucephalandra, actually. A few specialties. So I say let's drain the tank again. I think then we can start with the moss, then we'll do the Bucephalandras, fill it back up, and then we're done.
Let's talk about moss. I have two different types. One is the Taxiphyllum giant and the other one is the Taxiphyllum barbidi, or like normal Java moss. So the normal Java moss I use quite a lot. The giant moss I don't think I've used once before in the layout, so I'm curious to see how it's going to grow. I'm not going to try to use any glue because in between the lava rocks we have so many like cracks and crevices. So I'm just going to like try to wedge it all in there and hopefully it will kind of just spread out naturally. I think that would just look the best as well. Like if you glue it, you always have this like white residue from the glue, you know? So I'm going to try to avoid using glue as much as possible. Okay, so I still have some tank water over here. So this always has this like gel media. I just want to rinse off. Just massage it a little bit. So that's it. So I'm just going to take tiny portions and then wedge it in all the lava rocks, crevices. Okay, all done with the moss. Looking pretty good already. Give a little top-down shots as well. So of course it's still kind of like sparsely planted, but it'll start spreading out quite fast. And I kind of just randomly mixed the Java moss and the giant moss. And then I also found a cup of Vesicularia montani. I think this is Christmas moss. So we actually have 3 different types of moss in here now. So I thought I ordered 4 different types of booze. So we have the Red Scorpio, the Bukit Kalam, and the needle leaf, and then they also had a special. But actually these specials are all different as well. So we actually have 3 different specials. So we have 6 different types of booze. Not a bad thing at all. So this is the Boost Red Scorpio. This was the only potted boost that I had. So that kind of also means that it has the biggest leaves. So to really play with the sense of depth and the perspective, I'm going to place this one mostly in the front. And then boost with smaller leaves we can place further towards the back to enhance the sense of depth. I think that's it. I think we're done planting. I do have a few more pots of boost, but I mean all the cracks are already stuffed, so there's no point overstuffing it, I guess. We're just adding more. Now we just need to wait for it to grow in. I mean the boost will grow very slowly. We might even have some melt in the beginning because they're quite sensitive, but the moss should take off in no time. Yeah, I think we're ready to fill it back up again. And then we just have to be patient. I also need to start thinking about what kind of inhabitants we're going to put in here. Definitely some nice shrimp, and just really tiny fish, something like a reservoir or something. Right, fast forward 3.5 months later. I set this tank up at the end of July and it's now like mid-November. So yeah, a little over 3 months. This tank took some time to develop, but that was kind of expected. You know, like Bucephalandras are very slow growing. The moss also doesn't grow too fast. So you just need a little bit more time than your traditional aquascape, I guess. But I think right now it's looking really good. I really like how it developed. Like we still have some of the lava rocks visible, but it's mostly covered by the moss. Different moss textures going on as well. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I didn't really know yet what kind of inhabitants I wanted to keep in here. So I just went to my local fish shop, saw what they had available, and then I saw these really beautiful Sakura red cherry shrimp. Some amazing red color on them. And actually right now I have a ton of buried females. So a lot of females with eggs. So probably in the next few weeks we're going to have a lot more cherry shrimp in here. Then I was also thinking of getting like a small nanofish, like a dwarf rasbora, but I feel like I use dwarf rasboras quite a lot in my videos. So then I saw these pygmy cories, and I haven't had them in a while. And they're a little bit different from your traditional cory where they only stay on the sand. These guys also kind of swim in the middle and the upper region of the tank, just kind of like a normal fish. They're just really cute, so I added about 10 or 15 of them. And then besides that, we just have some otocinclus and a mana shrimp for the cleanup crew. So when I started this project, I wanted to create something very low maintenance. I didn't want to do a lot of trimming, and that has definitely worked. I mean, the Bucephalandras grow very slowly, so I don't need to do anything to them. The moss doesn't grow very fast as well, and I don't really need to trim the moss. I just take a little pincet, and then I just, if it's getting a bit too much, I'll just take a little piece out, and that's done. It will just grow back in no time. So I'm really enjoying this layout, something a little bit different from what I usually create. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. As always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.